That coffee tastes good this morning.
There we go. Good
Good
morning.
morning, everyone.
Well, good
Gotta
morning
have
too
the
out there.
coffee.
Yeah.
Gotta have the
you, you
coffee.
you gotta have the coffee. So first of all, I wanna hear everyone's favorite coffee roast or morning beverage. I feel like Joe's not a coffee drinker for some reason. I don't know why I have this feeling. Do you drink
No, I
coffee in the
drink.
morning?
Yeah. No, I drink coffee, but I'm not a big connoisseur. Like I really don't even know the brand. My wife prepares it, and I don't know the brand. So
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair. How about you, Randy? What coffee do you
I
drink in the
I
morning?
actually just switched to a new brand. It's called Black Rifle. It's a company
Mhm.
that's run by veterans, and they use their profits and proceeds to help out veterans. So it's
Nice.
it's good. I like it. They have like 20 different kinds of roasts and and flavors. So
Yeah, I
I've
think
tried
I've
out
heard
two of
that.
them so far.
I've seen their ads on TV. It looks
Yeah,
good.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
At my age, and since I'm not a coffee, expert, I get free coffee at McDonald's. It's free.
Nice.
So there you
How do
go.
you pull that off?
There you go. Yeah.
One day I walked in there and I couldn't believe this girl by it.
Okay.
And this a couple of years
Counts
ago, and
once
she
you
said,
55 and
she
older.
said,
You count. Yeah.
yeah. I ordered a cup of
Yeah.
coffee, and she said, "You get it free, fella." I
Huh.
said, "I get it free, fella." And she says, "Yeah, you're on that." Okay.
What
So
she
You
meant
might
is
Joe's
what
like,
she
"Hey,
what
fella."
she meant, Joe, is you get it free, Grandpa.
a grandpa. That's what she meant. Yeah. Oh
No,
goodness.
Joe, you're still young in my eyes.
There you go.
I promise. Awesome. What about you, Mark? Your
Even with
coffee
one good
drinker?
leg.
Okay. Well, let me bring us up to
So no,
what.
I don't drink coffee, but I do drink tea.
There you go. Well,
Ah,
bring
nice.
everybody up to date on what the micro
Good.
moment did, and then I'll be quiet for the rest of the production here. We had really kind of a slow day for us. We had about 12.4950% return today over six trades, precisely equal between Qs and apples. And we're up for the week 185.6016 as of those trades this morning. Now, there was one additional trade after I left to come over here to get ready with wardrobe and makeup. And we had one additional trade which will be reported tomorrow. So we're having a super, super good week. And just today, Cezanne and Mark and Tim and everybody was out. I don't know where Tim is. He didn't say he wasn't going to be here, but he's not here at the moment. Um, Anyhow, we have our morning sessions for 1 hour, 8:30 to 9:30 Central Time. That's when the market opens, and they do real trades using our corporate money plus their own. And so when they come up with trades based on the charting, our advanced charting, and you learn how to do this stuff by learning how to interpret our charting, which they teach you how to do. And our clients make it as much, if not better, than these guys do, and they report it to us, and we report every single one of them. And even one guy had a loss this morning, and he knew why he had a loss because he waited too long to get out. And this is just a fantastic seminar. And I wish if you're hearing us now, you can attend. I think you can attend. You go to Micah's website, micromomenttrading.com. I think you can attend for a couple of weeks for free, or 1 week for free, or something. So give it a try. Okay, guys, I'm through talking. Oh, and I do have, I do have. I'm still in rehab, and so and I have today is a shower day. My you know Swedish shower partner will be here a little later on.
There
So
you go.
I'm so excited.
Joe,
Yeah.
Joe looks forward to not to the podcast. He looks forward to getting his shower.
That's right.
How you been feeling? You feeling good? Healing up
Yeah,
well?
yeah. I feel good. Kind of lethargic, but I feel good. I get tired kind of easy. I've used this walker, and really, I can put pressure on that leg, but I'm so reluctant to do it. I'm just
Yeah.
reluctant to try to do anything out of just normal. But it's coming around. It's been I guess a couple of weeks now, and so they x-rayed. We went over Friday, and they x-rayed the leg and said it was perfect. Everything's good. It's got a big steel rod in it, and which means I'll probably never be able to fly an airplane again. That's okay. And then I've got all these pills and stuff that I take, and then therapist, my shower friend, shower partner, comes by a couple times a week, and Then I have therapists that come by a couple times a week.
There you go.
There you go.
You're
That's
on the right track to healing.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
It's very
Well,
good.
you're looking forward to getting back to the Boston Marathon next year, but we'll have to maybe wait a year.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you enter the Boston Marathon with a walker?
Yeah, they probably have a special category.
They did.
You could be the leader. Yeah, I think the record's probably 3 days or something like that.
I know.
Yep. Coming in at 4 days, 12 hours,
that's
and 15 minutes.
You never see it on TV because it lasts too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Take up to imagine all the ad space, but man.
Well, let me say, yeah, one more thing. It'd be a good way into Randy. The micro moment is for those that like our average transaction, probably 15 seconds to a minute. You're in, you're out, and you're through. You got all your money back. You never have any money out overnight over the weekend. Randy has taken those advanced charting, using that advanced charting, no, map, what do you call it? Chart we have. And has adapted his slower old man techniques, the original techniques, which he's brought up to date, sort of, and gets incredible returns, which he's going to tell you about in a minute because he always brags a lot. And so you can get the micro moment trading technique used in Randy's trades, which, he's been with us now for 16, 17, 18 years. And they're just fantastic trades, but he's updated them. And so you just get in fast. They're not quite as fast. They may last a minute, 2 minutes, maybe a day. But Randy, with that, I'll move it back over to you.
Thanks, Joe. Actually, I do every kind of technique that we have ever taught here. I use those on a weekly basis. So I do almost every day. I do micro moment trading, just like what Joe and Tim and Mark talk about every morning. This morning, and of course, I use SPX, the S&P 500 index, for my micro moment trading, in and out in. Mine are usually 2 minutes long, maybe 3 minutes long, not the 30 seconds that Tim usually does with Apple. But I did 3 trades already this morning. I already have 10.2% return total. So
Wow.
probably, well, unless there's another really, really good strong chart set, right now we're going horizontal. The market, the S&P 500 really is just trading horizontal through about 4 or 5 points. So
Hey, Randy,
yeah.
did you say you were up 10% for the day?
10.2%.
Randy, we closed out at over. We probably closed out at 15.5 something. Where are you? What's going on?
Well, that's because that's all that you do. I do lots of other stuff too, but I kind of fit that in between.
And you guys got 2 people. Randy's going solo. So.
That's right. It's just me,
Mm-hmm.
just me and my little old computers here.
There you go.
But I also have a credit spread on right now for the S&P 500 that is doing really well, and because we're actually trading right at all-time highs, so I just have a credit spread above the all-time high. We'll see if that holds for tomorrow. Probably will close it today for a profit anyway. It's already got a profit. But in regards to the majority of what I do is cover calls. And I had a good session yesterday. Every Wednesday morning, I have the cover call coaching session, which is anywhere between an hour, hour and a half to 2 and 2.5 hours long, where I teach synthetic cover calls. So not only do we teach the full 2-day cover call seminar, which Joe just had a couple weeks ago, that is the stock-based cover call. And the way that we do cover calls is different than everybody else out there in the industry, because we teach how to use cover calls for weekly income. And that means when we talk about income, that's cash added to your account, not a piece of paper saying it went up or went down. It's actual cash added to your account that you can go spend, or you can leave it in, whatever you want to do with the cash. It's yours to go use. And the way that we do it is in the money and deep in the money cover calls, which means you're going to buy a stock and you're going to sell it for less than you paid for it. But because of all the covered call premium you receive when you sell that call, you have all of your capital back plus a profit. And we just lost Joe. There he is. He's back. And so I do that on Wednesday. I take it to an accelerated high level that instead of buying the stock, I buy an option that gives me the right to buy the stock at a set price up to a set date. And I sell calls against it to generate income at a much higher percentage because I'm investing much lower than the cost of the stock. Usually, well less than 10% of the cost of the stock. So, so that is what I do. Pat, I'll get to your question in a second. So last week, the positions that I entered, there were 10. I entered 10 positions and closed them all out with all the capital return plus cash returns. Between my lowest was, it looks like 7.7% return for the week, and my highest was 19% return for the week or less. Usually enter on Monday or Tuesday and then close them out on Friday for all the cash back plus the income locked in. And so that's what I teach. And within my teaching, I actually send out the an email and an alert that says, here's how I'm doing it in my own account. And the purpose is so that everybody can follow along in their virtual trading account and learn hands-on. So you're not just looking at a video or reading a book. You're actually going out and like hitting golf balls with an instructor next to you to say, no, here's how you change to make that golf ball go where you want it to go. And so I teach that and show you exactly step by step with live in the market positions so you can see actuals. It's not here's what you could have done a year ago or here's the results from January. It's current, in the moment, in the market, day by day management of those positions. So anyway, so I teach that every Wednesday morning. In addition to that, I have a Thursday evening covered call coaching session where everybody signs up. They can come ask questions about their positions and what would management steps potentially be. How do the techniques? How would I implement this technique or that technique? We're going to talk a little bit about PRT tonight. That's Mark actually developed the PRT technique, and I had a couple questions about exactly how does that work, and so I'm going to go through that tonight. In addition to some other time value and time decay type of the concepts for options. But that's every Thursday evening at 7:00 Central Time.
What does PRT stand for, Mark?
PRT stands for Put Recovery Technique, and it's a technique that we use to recover from a TSS, which is another acronym that Joe developed to talk about how we generate income on a stock that's declining, and we still generate weekly or monthly income on that. And so the PRT, the Put Recovery Technique, is used to recover from a TSS that didn't go the right direction. So all those things are covered call terms from Micro Moment Trading's version of covered calls. It's if you call your stockbroker or Google them, you're not going to find out what they are. You have to come to the seminars and webinars to learn what those processes are. But I'll be reviewing those tonight on the coaching webinar, which answers all the questions that people have about how do these techniques work, how to use them, or I have this position, I think this is the next step that I would do. Is that how you would do it? And I will analyze that position during the actual live webinar and go through all the possibilities that could be implemented to help people learn and improve their knowledge and understanding of the processes.
Absolutely.
Now, there was a question. Pat said, why do you prefer SPX over SPY? A couple of reasons. One is the SPX is like 10 times SPY, or SPY is 1/10 of SPX. So if I want to invest the same amount of money, I would have to do 10 times as many SPY contracts as SPX. But the bigger reason, or one of the bigger reasons, is SPX is um, tax efficient, I think is how they call it. The SPX qualifies for the 1256 tax code, so you can ask your tax advisor what that is. But there's benefits from a tax perspective of trading the indexes, and also um, I like the way that SPX moves as far as
Mhm.
the the premiums and the charts, and I always follow the SPX chart. I've always got it up on on one of my screens. In addition to the intraday streaming chart, I've got them overlaid on each other so I can watch the line chart and the streaming chart at the same time to give me a good a good idea of the entry.
Yep.
Hopefully that helps, Pat.
I
And
believe it
also,
does. I think I'm going to show the charts today. I think that'd be fun.
Pat's been around for a long time using these different techniques. I mean,
Yeah.
probably near as long as I have. I know he's been around a long time as well, continually using the techniques and processes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, by the way, it may be a segue into Mark, but coming up, right, in one more week, Mark is going to be teaching a whole new technique that we're going to have with the futures, right? Futures trading. So
Yes.
we're constantly moving. I mean, we always add. We continually use what has always worked in the past, but also keep adding new things that can improve your income generation as well. And Mark, right there, is going to be teaching the futures trading, and I'm looking forward to it. And it's really his birthday present to me because he's teaching it on my birthday, September 11th. So
Really?
yeah,
There
yeah,
you
yeah.
go.
Hmm.
Ah,
That's fantastic. That'll be great. Um, M
interesting. Yeah.
says PRT,
You're
TSS,
gonna be 32
CSM,
again, or
kids that have their own language. Yeah, we do kind of have our own language a little bit. And I think it's for the best. At first, right, it's a little bit confusing, but I think it is for the best because if we said these things every time, it would be a little bit extensive, especially when we're talking about them within the seminar. Um, Joe, how long do you think the 2-day covered call would be if we didn't shorten any of the names?
I don't know. It would be a long one. Yeah. Yeah.
You'd add another
Yeah.
probably hour and a half just saying the
Yeah.
names.
Hey, but one of the neat things, Micah, was like when we've had multiple cruises in the past where they're actually trading cruises
Yes.
where we get a group of folks come on and we're on there for 4, 5, 6 days. And not only do we hold seminars during that time and we do live trading and we get to see, but as we're sitting around at the little coffee areas or drinking areas, depending on if you're me or if you're Joe, or having lunch or dinner. I mean, we're all talking back and forth using all this stuff, and people kind of look at us like we're talking Greek or something, like we're not even talking English. But we have a great time talking about all these techniques and processes, and getting kind of funny looks from all the other passengers that are on the ship.
Yeah. Let me say one thing about that. I was having a long conversation planning meeting with Dirk yesterday, and just as soon as we can, we've had our first live event, which was the master's class several weeks ago. Very successful. Everybody came to Fort Worth, it's Sheraton, and it was really good.
Yes.
And our most popular events were the Hawaiian cruises, and remember the big huge cruise over to the Mediterranean. We flew into Spain.
Oh,
Yep.
300 people. Those are huge. But yeah, those have always been extremely, not only profitable from the standpoint of people learning stuff because you're on that boat, and then obviously most of the time is allocated to not, working with, our stuff. But always been really popular. We're going to institute those again and get them going, and
Yeah.
as soon as we can. It's going to be good. Yep.
It
Yeah, that's
is. It is nice when we take the trips because you're in a bit of a vacation mindset, but you're also you can kind of step away from everything that's in your
Yep.
day every day. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we
Yep.
do this first thing in the morning. So it's really it is legitimately a part of your life, and you got all the other things that you wake up with your mind on your mind in the morning, and you gotta
Yep.
head to work that day or head to whatever you're going to do that day. So it's nice to have that time that's separated. You can kind of, all right, I don't
So you're
have
just
to,
immersed. You're just immersed in what we're doing, right? So it's a great experience for sure.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
you don't have all those outside worldly distractions, and you can really concentrate and have a good time.
Yeah. Yep. That's absolutely nice. That will not be the case for the futures seminar, will it, Mark? Um, so every Friday, the Cow Report is released. It's a free report, and we cover a few things in there. It always opens with the 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 statement, which I'd like to talk about more on here, because I think it is a cool concept and understanding the meaning behind that. But Joe talks about the bulls and bears in the market, bulls and bears and bulls and bears, and there are bull markets and bear markets, but that is kind of how everyone is referred to when people talk about buying power. All the bulls are coming in and doing this and that, especially on news programs and TV, things like that. They're referred to them as these two sides. And I was thinking about that, and it's kind of steeped into everything about it, about our culture, right? We have um, the two sides of the sports field. We have two sides of every team is red versus blue, and we're doing the thing, and it's this dichotomy, and I'm finding, I mean, without getting into politics or anything, I'm finding there's a lot of truth in the middle, right? When you're not necessarily on that, um, but that's kind of what we do with trading is he refers to a cow and how it always produces, right? It's not about a bull or a bear only works in one direction, um, and it's
That's
not
what,
that we
that's what we
don't
want, right?
use
Yeah.
each direction. Go ahead, Mark.
As I say, that's what we want, right? We want to build techniques we derived and Joe's derived over the years. We've enhanced or added to over the
Yeah.
years are designed to create cash flow. And we don't really care what way the market goes. We don't care if it's
Mm-hmm.
up or down. We don't care what geopolitical events are happening. We're going to take advantage of the current situation and generate cash flow.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Exactly. And I mean, in the past, there was a market where you could say, okay, I'm not going to the upper downside, do some sort of spread based on a lack of volatility. And you can actually make trades where if it stays flat, that's the best scenario, right? We're not even
Yep.
talking about that. And we've dabbled in that, right, as well. Um, but exactly the versatility of being able to use the up or the downside, and it's not so um, wrapped up, right? You don't know the
Right.
future of the market. That's one kind of baseline core belief we have, is that we cannot tell the future with 100% accuracy. So if we already
I
know
know that
that
movie
going
back to the, yeah, good. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And Back to the
yeah,
Future. Yeah.
I was gonna say that movie
uh,
Back to the Future. When they picked up that sports book, I would have picked up a book that showed all the market trades and trends for
yeah,
the last 20 years or something. That would have been really fun. But
yeah, exactly. And the attempt is everyone is trying to do that impossible task better than the other guy. It seems like that's so much of the market activity that goes on, and it's not gonna work out that way, right? So if we can accept that and then build systems that we can use in any market condition, up or down, and be more like a cow than a bull or a bear, then I don't know. I was just reading that and thinking about that concept. But that is the first
yep,
paragraph of the cow report that comes out every week, and below that we have the topic for the following week, the Thursday show. So last week, Mark wrote in his summary, which is this the final summary of this series we're doing?
yes, I believe so. Mhm.
Yeah, you're the last presentation. So we've been recapping what we went over at Masters and given each teacher a chance to cover their topic in the amount of depth that they would like to. Um, obviously the main meat of it was going to the event, but just kind of giving a catch up on that area of the market, what they're looking at. So, Mark, what'd you write about this week, and what do you how are you feeling about the market? All these changes coming up, teaching. How you feeling?
So for us, micro moment trading, we have the new futures class that's going to come out September 11th. You can go to the website, front page, right at the top, click on it, sign up if you want to join, and come hang out with us. But going back to the Masters, we introduced this concept at the Masters to our clients that were there or those online, I think. And it's a new, evolution of what we've been doing. Much like the micro moment trading we do now with options, we can do with futures. Futures are a little bit different than stock options, right? Because if you do hold a futures contract overnight or to expiration, you might have to take delivery of 10,000 barrels of oil or something, which we don't do. So we don't hold our contracts overnight. We don't hold them for any long periods. The idea is just like our micro moment trading is to get in, get out. We're following market trends, looking for 5 or 10 points. On the indexes that we trade, these are all cash settled. And at the Masters, we introduced this techniques, kind of the concept and some of the techniques we'll be using. A little bit more detail, obviously, in the workshop coming up. But we went through, here's different brokerage platforms. You can open an account with $500 to $5,000, and talk about some of the trading platforms. It was really, I think, a good kind of first look for people who have never done this. And a lot of people are kind of scratching their heads yet because futures are a little bit different. They're not sure, they're not used to it. Like they are some of the option trades and stuff, but it's very similar. So I think through the class you can really get a good understanding. And then once the class, we do the workshop here coming up, I think we're going to start doing the daily kind of live trading thing where we'll have this futures platform available. We'll be able to watch the trades and watch our charts. Again, we're still using the micro moment charts. They have a lot of key features that allow us to trade as we do currently with our Bollinger Bands, our leading M1, M2, M3 kind of lines that we have, and a lower indicator. So all this is coming together to help us trade the futures, to tell us basically when to get in, when to get out, when to get out. But it's also a longer trade. We're going to use a 3-minute to a 5-minute chart, which is a little bit lengthy compared to the regular micro moment trading. It's going to seem like forever.
Which is 1 minute, right? Currently.
Correct. 1 minute currently, yes. And so it's going to be a just an added feature, added way, another arrow in your quiver or another wrench in your toolbox, and how you can generate cash, cash flow from your portfolio. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Awesome. That will be
more detail.
I know very little about futures, so I'm with Randy. I'm curious to learn about it, and looking forward to it.
It's going to be fun. We're going to use cash index, just like Randy talks about the SPX. This is the NASDAQ, which is an NQ. It's actually mini. There's also the SP. It's called ES, actually, the ticker symbol /ES for the SP. It's S&P 500. And these are minis. There's also micros. So, if you don't have a lot of cash to put up front, you can put $500 in an account and trade the micros, which is like MES, and there's like an MNQ. And then the margin is extremely low for this. We do use margin because of the leverage that's required for futures. But again, we're in and out, closed out of the market at the end of the day after each trade. Never hold anything overnight.
Yeah. And are you the margin? It's not. Margin is a little bit confusing. I feel when it comes to futures because it doesn't quite operate the same, right? There's a cover cost, but you're not trading on the margin like you would on if you're just buying stocks on margin.
Yeah. So it's not the evil margin, I call it. It's the good margin in this case. Because we're, not borrowing money to buy stocks and hold on to them forever. Then all of a sudden, oh God, in the future, you're down, you got a margin call and stuff, right? There are restrictions on the account. So when you use this margin, if you were to take a loss, it's only a certain amount, right? They're going to stop you out. They're going to get you out, close it. But we stop losses in our trading as well to help protect us, just in case sudden market movements. We will have losses sometimes, like doing micro moment trading, get out. You may take a little loss, but overall, we're just looking for the same percentages to get a gain, overall during each week.
Yep.
And the cool thing is, where else can you start almost like a business? Look at this business. You started this with, say, $5,000, and you're trading one of these indexes, And if you do this right, you turn this into 120,000 in a year, 150,000 a year. It's like a business, like income, right? You can generate just like all the other stuff. We're generating income off our position. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I, I,
go ahead.
well, I've already heard comments coming from some of the folks that are definitely interested in the seminar coming up, but they said this is going to be great because it trades 24 hours a day. They said, oh, I'll be able to trade for an hour or so before I go to work, or I'll be able to trade after I get home from work, where with the current options, you have to be in during market hours, but the futures are 24 hours a day. So um, they're excited about learning a process that they could even generate more income than they're currently doing.
yeah, it's a really good point. So yeah, futures do trade virtually 24 hours a day. It's about 5, 6 days a week. Because you start trading again Sunday night and trade all the way through Friday evening, and then the market closes basically for Saturday, and then we open back up again Sunday. Um, so yeah, a lot of the market movement you'll see is 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes, at least my time, Central Time, and then also market opening, and then of course any other movements are in the day. Sometimes we'll see some action there, just like we do normally. But yeah, it's a great tool I think to have. So
Yeah. The and one of the big things that, so we're going into futures, right? But um, one of the things I kind of see with this is, if we were to, be a futures trading and we were going into options right now, well, I mean, Randy, you might have the best answer for this. Or Joe, how many independent ways do we have to trade options? MMT, we're trading options. Covered calls, we're trading options. So how many different ways do we go about that, you think?
We have credit spreads, we have momentum trading, we have leaps, we have
yep.
Yeah, right. So that's the difference between changing a technique and a financial tool. We just added a technique within micro moment, even, right? Because there's certain aspects of the market that you can take advantage of that are very consistent, but the market changes, right?
Yeah. I think every single thing we have relates to options because originally, in the olden days, the very first technique we had was buy the stock and then rent it by selling the option. So that was from day one, and still to this day, everything relates to an option one way or another. We don't just buy a stock and hope it goes up in value or goes down in value, and then we sell the stock. Something like that.
It's alternative income. It's looking for, ways to trade that is not just trading.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Will Tim be able to give his master's summary since he wasn't able to do so earlier? We did have a week where he did that. Yeah, I think it was the time before last that we did Tim's.
Yeah, I think so.
You're muted, Mark.
Sorry. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, awesome. So I'm excited to launch into futures for that reason, because I'm excited to see all of the additional techniques that come out of it above the baseline. But I also wanted to show the reason that's going to be possible is because we are adding our charts, which we haven't had charts on a new financial tool for quite a while. And I realized a lot of people on here have probably not seen them. We talk about them all the time, and I would like to show them more often because it is a large part of what we do. And these are it. So this is what we are updating, and we are going to, we have it on our end. We're just going to release it to the subscribers. And is this going to be an add-on, Joe or Randy? Do you know the futures aspect of these charts?
Oh, you mean on the Mark's futures?
As far as the cost of the toolbox or whatever?
Will it be separated from? Will it be its own?
My understanding is yes. There's a new feed that's going to feed these live for the futures charts, right? So obviously there's an associated fee that goes to the exchanges that provide the data. and we're not making any money off it necessarily, but we need to provide that money to the exchange to get the data that we need for the charts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we do with these currently. We make under $10. I probably shouldn't even tell you guys this, but on those to get them to you, right? It's not about necessarily the charting. It's about being able to teach you guys to use techniques based on what the charting says. So that's something we try to make as accessible to you guys as possible to, be in line with financial independence and be true to that. So, but these are our charts that we look at every day. There's also, Randy,
There's all our regular,
what's
stock, any stocks somebody can think of out there, plus the futures we have, like /NQU21 is one of the future symbols for the NASDAQ mini. I don't know if they may be delayed in this package, depending on what package you have set up here. But
okay, yep.
Yeah, I just had a text from, actually, it was a little later. I just read it from Tim. It says, my son has cut his hand pretty bad, and I've got to run him to the doc.
Oh, no.
In the box, he said, I'll try to be back before you guys finish. So.
Oh, that's too bad.
No worries. Take care of Junior, man. It's more important.
Yeah. One time I was on the back deck of my family home eating an apple, and I was doing the, you got the knife in your hand and you cut off a piece and eat it. And I cut my hand like pretty badly. I think I had like 5 or 6 stitches right here. But when I came inside there, my mom had a friend over and she was having a conversation and I didn't want to interrupt. And it was kind of the thing where, you're going and you're like, boom, oh, I cut my hand, darn. But it didn't feel, the knife was sharp. It didn't really hurt. My father was very into sharpening knives at the time, so everything was very sharp. It was like a hobby at the time. Everything was very sharp. I didn't really notice, and I was standing there waiting for my mom to be done with her conversation, and it took a little bit longer than I was thinking. So I looked down, and there's blood on the floor, all over my shoe, down my leg, and then I just about pass out, standing in the kitchen waiting because I was trying to be polite and not interrupt the conversation. It was just,
not good.
Yeah.
But back to the charts, right? So, these are our charts, and we use a lot of proprietary settings on these charts, right, to help us, help guide us. For our trade, right? Upper indicators, our lower indicators. This is developed over the years, and this is what we use to generate our profits, daily. So.
Yes. The one thing I wanna highlight about these, which you can't see it as much in this time frame, but they are designed with our end in mind, which at the beginning we talked about as not okay. We're gonna be the bulls in the market and drive the market up and do this, action to that side. Or we're short sellers. We think the market's going to crash at this time, and we're going to put everything we have into that side of it, right? We wanted a balanced chart that would be easy to interpret in both directions. So one of the key factors of this chart that we talk about in length all of the time is the 3 lines in the middle, the white and the green and the blue. These are our M1, 2, and 3. We're not going to break down the whole chart. Obviously, you gotta what we're doing here, but those 3 lines and their interaction give us so much information about the current movements of the market, but also momentum. Right? The market is moving every second of every day. So what movements are going to be meaningful and actually cause a larger move that we can take advantage of, and what movements are just it moving around, it consolidating, it taking its time to get to where it's going. right? There are waiting periods in the market, and then there's the periods where it actually moves. It may be in motion, but it's not moving all day. And I think that's a clear differentiation. I mean, it's moving right now, right? But SPY is not in motion; it is resting. We've seen SPY in motion plenty. Right? Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, I think we're sort of, I think this is the correct word. Correct me if it's not. We're sort of chameleon traders. In other words, you let song, we don't care which way something's going. We don't sit there and think about it, where most people do. We just like are chameleons. We can just change in a flash, you know,
Yeah.
and we just follow where the action is. So,
Yep. Absolutely. That's why our
and,
charts are so colorful.
yeah, and since we haven't
Yeah, true.
positioned ourselves based on speculation, like we haven't positioned ourselves, we think the market's going to open up. The more and all these people are watching the overnight financial news and everything, they say, "Oh, the market's going to open up with that." So we've gone out and positioned ourselves. We don't do that. We're just like an easy date. I mean, we just change.
The baseline assumption is that we can't tell the future,
That's right.
right?
Exactly.
Right. So we wait for the opportunity. We jump on it. We pounce on it. We get in. We get out, and look
That's
for the
it.
next one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, I wanted to show these. If anyone has any questions, obviously we're not going to break down the whole chart right now, but if anyone has any questions, I realize we don't show these much. We can take a couple on what these charts do.
Yeah, for those of us, those that are online and maybe that trade with us normally in the morning, I mean, this starts to use too, right? So they are used to using these and watching them and taking advantage of the trends that we can, so that we can generate profits.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, we might be even able to take a look at a symbol. Randy, I know you do that quite a bit on your Thursdays, so we might be able to chat quickly about a symbol if anyone has one. Good idea for that.
Yeah, because we use this part of our advanced charting, which is this is a subset, I think, of that. But we use advanced charting as well, for our entry positions on our stocks and everything else. So this whole package is part of what we do, or how we are able to achieve what we achieve.
Absolutely. Man, Tim had quite the gap to play this morning, didn't he?
I'm sorry, what?
Did Tim do an opening gap trade this morning?
Yeah, so he does a gap trade.
Pretty massive gap, $3. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, my mic was acting up. Yeah, so just during the gap open is a good technique there to jump on. Yeah, and that's what you're seeing as the market continues to trade the futures overnight, and by the time the market opens, there's a gap, or up or down potentially, or the market could be flat, right? So these gaps are something that we can take advantage of at market open, and we do, of course, in most cases.
Yep. Yeah, it's a really nice trade that we're learning more and more about, because I mean, you have so much preemptive knowledge on it, right? Before it opens, you can see exactly how much it's going to move, and that is one time that you certainly can't tell the future, but you can have it has to catch up, right? So you know what it's going to do for, I mean, the first minute and a half, and then there's a lot more to actually taking advantage of that. But it's a pretty clean system.
Definitely.
Doesn't look like we have any specific symbols to look up here, so.
Apple's a big one they trade, right? We trade Apple, of course. We trade the Qs, and we got SPY. We do micro moment trading. Of course, with futures, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna look at the Nasdaq, the S&P 500. There's Russell 2000. There's the Dow Industrials, and even Bitcoin has a futures out there / BTC. There's also a micro Bitcoin / MBT, which requires less capital, right, to trade. So it's going to be, I think, quite exciting.
Is it like a tenth of the size, or?
Correct. So it's I think the mini, which is the original one, is like it's a factor of that, right, which is about 10, I think. And then the micro is even more than that, right? It's like 100th maybe or something. I can't remember. It's pretty small, right? So say the factor on like Nasdaq, if you make 1 point, it's $20.
on NQ/NQ. If you make 1 point on the MNQ, it's only $2, right? So it's a tenth of the mini, I guess.
Oh, okay. So
So
the
micros and minis. So
micros are a tenth, and then micro minis are 100th of the original. Gotcha. Um, Fantastic, and that's my computer is wigging out right now.
because what's unique about the product, I mean, you have $5,000 in an account, it's going to require $500 tied up when you do a trade.
Yeah.
Where if you were buying the actual contract, it would be something like $160,000 cash, right?
Yeah.
So the percentage of return would be much smaller. Obviously, it would take more movement and more risk on your part, essentially.
From Kathy here, Mark, is there a more advantageous time of the day to trade futures?
Well, just like our other trading that we do, market opening is pretty much the best time because we're going to get a lot of volatility happening, a lot of action. And then, of course, during the day, depending on what happens, you're going to see changes in the market, geopolitical announcements, whatever from the news or from the feds or something, will change the market. But again, also in the middle of the morning before market opens, sometimes if news has been happening, you could take advantage of it then, right? So there may be an announcement pre-market or there may be earnings pre-market, and it'll drive maybe the NASDAQ up or down, right? And so at that point, you could also be right there trading as it happens, really, instead of waiting for the market to open, right?
Also, I feel if you're trading futures, it's tied to whatever you're trading. So how do I say this? If you're trading options, right, we traded on an ETF or on a stock.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're on SPY, right, and something company specific happens on Apple, then Apple's going to move. SPY will move a little bit because Apple's included in it, but if it's an action based on that specific stock, that's going to be a place to be and trade. Whereas in the market, right, there are futures based off of ETFs, and ETFs are volatile at the beginning of the day. So if you're trading a ETF future, then the market open would be a busy time. Whereas if you're trading a future on Bitcoin, right, I don't imagine the stock market open would have quite as big of an effect on the movement.
Well, it depends because it depends on people are up at a certain time. Their habits are, market opens, I'm going to trade, right?
That's fair.
But again, in the case of the futures, in some cases, even with the micro mini now or the micro moment trading that we do now, I'll be online, say at 7:45 or 7. And if the market's moving, I can lock in 20, 30, 40, 50 points. I've already made $1,000 off one contract before the market even opened, right? 10 contract, of course, that'd be 10,000, but I could be done for the day, essentially. Go to work, come back, maybe trade it at night, again at 5 o'clock when it reopens Central Time, or anytime during the evening or morning, wee hours of the morning if I so desire, right?
Yeah.
So if you have insomnia, that's great for those people. But
and also, it's not just people in the U.S. that are trading those futures. They're all over the world. So,
correct.
Like the Asia markets open at like 9:30 Eastern time in the evening, and they're starting to trade futures out there when they're looking at their stock market. And Europe opens at 3:30 or whatever in the morning, and same with them. They're trading our futures as well. So there's activity throughout the course of the 24 hours based on not just the U.S. traders, but also traders around the world. But they're thinking about what's going to happen to our market based on all those things that Mark talked about, the geopolitical and the news and the announcements and the sentiment and whatever else that people think about.
We just want movement, right? Just like our other techniques, we want some type of movement so we can take advantage of it, and that's what we do, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, Joe. I just got another 2.8%, so now I'm up to 13%. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you today.
That's good.
That's why I've been watching the charts, so I can
there you go.
We did the SPX.
Okay.
Yeah, it was SPX. Yeah, SPX.
Well, then right before we log off here, do you mind if we take a look at that chart, Randy?
Oh, go ahead.
Cool.
SPX.
Check out
Yeah,
that
SPX.
movement. I mean, we have it up, right? So let me do a Oh, let me.
It's in our
Yeah,
toolbox.
I mean, it basically looks like the SPY chart that you just had up there. There,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I
because
know.
SPY is the
Quite
ETF for
similar.
the SPX, but
Derivative.
SPY is actually trying to mimic SPX. So SPX is like the origin,
It's the mothership.
and SPY is trying to tag along to follow it. So it's not exactly the same, but it's it's pretty close.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just did a little put right there. You can see that E1 red just crossed below blue and high in the scale and
Ah, very, very
in
nice. The
in and out. Just 2.8% return in a quick
very nice.
moment.
Is there a key factor that revealed that to you?
Yeah, the chart there. So E1 red is that the
Red
lines
line.
are high in the scale and red is crossing below blue. That's
So
entry for
it's our first indicator in that lower stuff, right? Lower indicator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
Randy,
the tick just
how
went.
How are the premiums on that, Randy? Are they pretty much similar to the SPY, or are they? I mean, a buck a contract.
Well,
$2
I mean the premiums are like it was $7.10 to buy the at the money put.
Yeah.
And so I made 20 cents on that. Invested 710, got 730 back. That's 2.8% return.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so if you did SPY, you would have 10 times as many contracts as SPX. So
Yeah.
I like to trade fewer contracts.
Yeah, because when we're doing the Qs, the Apple, SPY like that, we're doing 100,
Yeah.
300 contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like on SPY, you'd be looking for 2 cents or 3 cents,
Right.
like you would with Apple and things, where I'm going for 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents.
Nice.
Earlier today, I had a 50 cent profit.
Hmm.
It just depends on how quickly it's moving. See, right now it's kind of going sideways. You can see the middle chart.
Yep.
It's just going sideways. So it's not very volatile right now, and the volatility is what really generates the return. So you're going to get in and have a good faster move, and right now it's going really slow.
Right. And
So
that's what we're
SPX
talking
is
about.
the SPX is the micro and SPY is the micro mini.
yeah. You could say that. So
about-
it's still going down. So I mean, if I would have wanted to, and I don't, I just try to get a quick return and get out. But the profit's even a little bit more right now. It would be another 10 cents.
So the S&P
and
500, the future
still
side,
going down.
is
Yeah.
what you're seeing here, Randy. Randy's saying it's much slower, movement.
Yes.
Some people that's better. Sometimes the faster moving stuff is not for them. So this is just another item to trade, right?
Yeah, and so like the Qs and the Apple is probably a little faster. I like the little bit slower one. That to me it gives me a little bit more leeway as to as long as the momentum looks like it's continuing in the direction I can stay in for that profit.
Right.
Yeah, pretty substantial drop after that. Wow.
Yeah, it's still going down, and that's what our chart says. Our chart says it's still going down.
Yep. So it's approaching our
White
long
under
term.
green, under blue, with an opening up on the red, red under blue. Yep. That's
And S&P
Yeah.
S&P's been reaching some all-time highs, so it's probably pulling back a little bit. We can see it's coming close to our
Yep.
long-term average there. So
Yeah.
could access
Yep,
support,
it's,
could break through. We don't know.
it keeps bumping its head against that all-time high and coming back down. So it kind of looks like it's showing a little bit of not enough strength to make a new all-time high.
Nice.
Yep. Fantastic. We showed the 1, 5, and 15 minute. Usually we have different symbols up, but we have a couple different orientations depending on which class you're in. There's quite a bit of flexibility with that charting package. There's a lot more features that it has. A lot of different screeners and things you can use.
See, and so right now the chart says I would exit for sure.
A few days.
I would exit for sure because red just went above blue now, and so it says get out. I think that's probably also green on the bar, and I've been trading the red. Yep, and the bar went green. So like Joe says,
Yep.
red's going down, green's going up. So you just watch those as well, and it gives you the clues.
Yeah.
It's all in the charts. I mean, you learn how to read those charts. Tim and Mark and Joe, they do great teaching every morning how to read those charts, and the charts tell you time to get in, time to get out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when it starts to get weak, I would always look at the opposite Bollinger Band. That's a trick that I had. If one of the things that
Good stuff.
I'll share that kind of applies to any method of trading you do is if you are heading in a direction with momentum, there is an extra amount of strength there that was not before, right? Because you're consolidating, you're pinching, you're doing whatever. It expands, it increases, it raises, everything gets bigger and bigger, up or down, right? That's the same process, this kind of lift in energy, lift in volume that happens. When that starts to deflate, you can feel it, you can see it in your chart, you can tell, right? It starts to falter. That weakness that starts to appear, it doesn't matter if you're going up and it's starting to fall off or down and it's starting to bounce. That sign is the same, right? When it starts to weaken, it starts to give off because of the amount of energy energy that's required to push it in that direction. Again, up or down, right? We try to find those common things that are not based on just the direction, right? Because what if it does switch, right? So if we can feel that lift and then feel it start to turn, puts us in a much better spot. Carl says, Micah, can you give a quick review of the website? Each section, I would like to see what everything is about. Maybe sometime in the future. Yeah, in the future. I think he meant future there. Yeah,
Yeah,
we could
sometime.
definitely go through a in-depth website breakdown for sure. Yeah, I like that idea. Maybe even next week.
Yeah.
Awesome. All righty, guys. Well, I want to thank everyone for being here. Have a good weekend first, and then a great another week of trading. You guys all trading tomorrow? Anything
Yep.
crazy
We'll be there.
happening?
Be there live.
All right. Right as Randy.
Also, now
Perfectly
remember
normal.
Monday the market's closed on Monday, so there won't be any trading on Monday.
Good to know. I would have no knowledge of any market event until it happened. Aside from you, Randy, you've kept me updated for the last couple of years. I appreciated it.
Right.
Very much. Yes, market holiday on Monday, so sleep in, enjoy yourselves, take your time, and then we'll see you on our coaching sessions on Tuesday, and then we will see you back here on Thursday at 10 a.m. Central.
See y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
All right.
Take
Have a
care.
good weekend. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your shower, Joe.
Yeah.